How do we get back in the flow of writing after taking time off? Let's talk about it. Hey, it's good to see you. I'm Megan, and today we're going to talk about how to get back in the flow of writing when you take an extended break. Writing is a habit like anything else, so when you take time off, it always feels extra hard to get back into the groove. But there are a few ways that work really well. One thing I will always say to people who ask me this question is set small goals. If you're anything like me, when you take time off from a goal and you're like, oh, I need to get back into it, you're just going to try to start sprinting. When, we haven't run for a while, so immediately sprinting is probably going to be a bad idea. You know what I mean? So maybe if I'm out of the habit of writing, instead of saying, okay, I just got to get back into it, I'm going to write every day. I might have the time to do that, but I may not have the capacity. Maybe pick one day a week and make that your writing day. And you're just going to write for half an hour on that day. And do that for 3 weeks and then add a day or add an extra half an hour. Build it back up over time. Because what you don't want to have happen is just hit the ground running and then you start sprinting and you break your ankle. You don't want to do that. Because then you won't be able to run for a lot longer. I don't know how far I can stretch this metaphor. I'm trying to keep my writing habit, so I only write twice a week for about an hour in the mornings, and whatever I write is what I write. Some days I write 1,500 words in that hour. Some days I don't write anything because I'm looking for prompts, or I'm looking for writing contests, or I'm brainstorming an outline. It just depends, but I don't put pressure on myself to produce a certain amount. I just say, this is my allotted writing time. That's the habit that's most important to me, that I'm in the chair thinking about writing and doing something writing related. So as long as I meet that goal, I've won for the week. I've won for the day. Along with that, and I got this idea from a really great book called Atomic Habits, which if you haven't read it, you should. It's awesome. Basically, you take a habit that's already established. You don't even have to think about it. It's on autopilot. And then you attach your new habit to that, meaning you do it directly before or directly after. So for instance, maybe every morning I wake up and I make my bed and that's automatic. I do it every day. I don't even think about it. But as soon as I make my bed in the morning, then I sit down and I write. So that way it makes it a little bit easier to kind of get the ball rolling. So my first 2 tips for you: start out small, don't overwhelm yourself, and try attaching your writing habit to a habit that's already established. So let's think about it. What's an established habit that you could attach writing to? Let me know below. Okay, my next tip for you, make it fun. Make it fun. Nobody wants to get into a new habit that isn't fun. Habits are hard primarily because it takes discipline, which is hard and usually not fun. So if the thing we're doing is also not fun, are we going to do it? No, we're not. Again, this comes back to not overwhelming yourself. Look, this is a hobby. I mean, a lot of us, we want it to be a job. But this is something we enjoy doing, so let's enjoy doing it. Remember why you started writing. Find something that'll help you feel invigorated about writing, and maybe that means taking a break from a current project that you've been working on and just doing something playful with your writing. Find a fun prompt and see where it takes you. Reedsy Prompts is a great place to go for that because they do weekly writing challenges. Hey, submit one and see what happens. You could earn like $250. So in addition to attaching your habit to something that's already established in your life, what's one way that you could make your writing more fun? Okay, going along with making it fun is something I really like to do when I'm getting back in the habit, and that's reward yourself. It doesn't have to be big. We're not talking like a $500 shopping spree if you write for a day, but there's a reason that behaviors that are positively reinforced continue. So when you tell your dog to sit and you give him a treat, he's like, oh, okay, when I sit, I get a treat. I'm gonna do that more often. We're the same way, people. We're the same way, just a little bit more complicated. So find something fun that you could reward yourself with. Maybe it's like going out and getting your favorite cup of coffee. Maybe it's setting yourself a long-term reward. So, okay, if I stick to my writing schedule, which is not going to be overwhelming, for at least 3 months, I'm going to treat myself to dinner at my favorite restaurant that I don't usually go to, or I'm going to go buy that shirt that I wanted last year, or I don't know. What do people do? Reward yourself. So think about one reward. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it has to be enough that you look forward to it. So I know for me, this is a small thing, but there's a coffee shop in my neighborhood that is so good, but if I went there every day, I would spend all my money on their vanilla latte because it is so good. So I use that as my reward. Oh, I went to the gym 5 days this week. That was my goal. Maybe I'll get myself a little cup of coffee. It's tiny. It's a tiny thing, but I look forward to it because my life is sad and empty, and that's all I've got going for me. What? I am getting off track. Point is, find something that would feel like a reward for you and connect it to your writing. Okay, you get it. You got it. All right. Okay, my next tip goes along with that, and that's it's not all or nothing. This is more of a mindset thing, and it gets so many people as they're trying to start a habit. It's like when you start a diet and then you inevitably eat something that's not on the diet and you're like, well, diet's ruined. Why do we do this? We often think like, well, if I can't stick to it perfectly, then I can't stick to it at all. So let's reframe this. That's not going to be the case. It's not going to be perfect. If you set yourself a reasonable schedule for your writing, for your habit, if you stack it on top of other habits, it will be easier to stick to, but you're going to have some flexibility and know that you might struggle to kind of get back into the rhythm. It might take you a couple weeks or a couple months to really feel like you're solidly back in the habit. Try to think of it like if you don't stick to your habit today, that's today. Today's done. Today's over with. Tomorrow's a new day. Just try to do it tomorrow. Even as you're building this habit back, if it doesn't go according to plan, you still got this. You can still do it. Okay, so let's recap. You're trying to get back in the habit of writing after taking some time off. Here's what you do. First, set a small goal for yourself. This goes hand in hand with setting yourself a manageable schedule, which means maybe don't try to jump in and start writing every day, 1,500 words a day. Remember, we can't go from sitting on the couch every day to sprinting down the street. We got to start out slow. And a great way to start out slow is by attaching your writing habit to an already established habit. Think about something you do every day without even thinking about it, and then attach writing to that habit. Then don't forget to make it fun. Remember why you're writing in the first place. You don't want your habit to feel like another job or a chore, so find a way to make it fun. Remind yourself. What do you love about your story? What do you love about writing? And then along with that, what can you reward yourself with? If you stick to your habit for 1 week or a month or 3 months, what could you give yourself or reward yourself with to make it feel exciting and worth it and give you that little extra motivation? Then always remember, it's not all or nothing. Habits aren't built overnight. They're just built by every day you show up and you try again. All right, so that's my best tips right now on how to get back into the writing routine after you've had some time off. We've all been there. You just have seasons where you're not going to be writing as much or at all, and that's okay, as long as that season doesn't turn into your lifetime. But if you love writing, it probably won't. You'll probably get back into it because you'll miss it. You'll feel the call. You know what I'm saying? You'll feel the call. And I've lost all my credibility now. I hope this video helps you get back into the routine of writing. Drop me down your habit below. What are you going to do? What's your schedule going to be like? What's your goal going to be? Tell me below and I can just cheer you on from here, okay? All right, well, I will see you in my next video. Until then, take care and happy writing.